Yeah, I think everybody can see and everybody can hear. Okay. Well, thanks for coming. It's always a lot of fun, and we're going to try to have fun today. I'll just introduce myself. My name's Craig Woodhams. I've lived in Wrentham my whole life. I actually went to third grade over in that corner room. Actually, my mom and dad went to this school, so I've been in Wrentham a long time. It's my home. I got into a bad Jeep accident 30, almost 7 years ago and lost my arm. It changed my life, for sure, but I look at it like it was the luckiest day of my life. A couple of reasons. I was in the hospital with some teenagers at the time that had gotten hurt in a diving accident, and they were paraplegics, and they're never going to get out of a wheelchair. I saw what they did and how proud and determined they were, and I looked at myself and said, I can do this. It just made it that I have to do a lot of things differently. I'm still the same person up here, maybe a little more stubborn because I've had to be, but I've been very, very lucky in my life. I was very lucky that that's all that happened, was that I lost my arm, because it could have been a whole lot worse. And we all know people that, they're in a wheelchair, or, there's a whole lot of other things. Everybody's got something, and, you just gotta, what I try to look at the big picture. I'm lucky. I'm a really lucky guy. I have, a great family and friends, and I've been very successful in my life. And I've been doing this talk for like 25 years. It's been a long time, and I enjoy it, and it's good for everybody to just get a little understanding of what it's like to have a disability. There's many disabilities in this world. Some are very apparent. Mine's very obvious. I only have one arm. But there are other ones that you don't necessarily see, and you have to be understanding that not everybody's the same, and everybody deserves a chance. On that note, today I'm lucky to have my friend Sue, who I met about a year ago. She obviously has gone through very similar things that I have. And I'll let her talk to you for a couple of minutes and introduce herself to you and tell her a little bit about her story.
Good morning, children. Good morning. I'm not from Wrentham, as Craig is, but like he said, we met about a year ago, and it's been wonderful ever since. So I didn't lose my arm to an accident. I had cancer when I was 15. I was in high school, and I had a great support team, so I've been doing a lot of things like Craig was saying. I skied, I bowled, I did all kinds of things, learned how to drive. Got married, had 2 children, and diaper changing was fun. Mm-hmm. Now I have a grandson. It's a little bit tougher, but I still do it. So it has a lot of challenges in life, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions, which we'll be able to answer later on. But you can do a lot of things. You have a lot of support, and you have a lot of challenges, but you tend to take each challenge one day at a time, and it works. So it's easy. I don't have shoes that tie today, but we have a few little things and gadgets and things that we wanted to show you to see how it is with one hand. And maybe tomorrow you can try and do a few things with one hand behind your back, and you'll see how tough it is sometimes, but you'll get by, not a problem. And then I'll bring it back to Craig and see where we're going with this next.
Okay, thank you. We're going to talk to you about a lot of different things today. None of it's bragging, none of it's showing off. It's just, this is what some people have to do. There's, like I said, we're lucky, Sue and I, we can get up and walk around. Well, how about somebody that's lost a leg? They need a prosthetic leg to be able to get around, or a wheelchair, some people. So I consider myself actually very lucky that I'm mobile. I'm able to get up and get around. But on the other hand, no pun intended, there's a lot of things that are difficult to do with one hand. What kinds of things can you think of that daily things, specialty things, whatever, that would be hard to do? Anybody? Yeah?
Play baseball.
Play baseball, that's a good one. Yeah?
Or Xbox controller.
Yeah, it always comes up. I'm not a big video game guy, but yeah, you think about that, what you do to do that, it would be very hard one-handed. Yes?
Write on paper.
Right. Why would that be hard? Holding the paper, that's right. Writing's easy, but you're not, you know, you try to write on a piece of paper, the paper slides all over the place. There's one of the things that I learned, and I noticed Sue did it when we signed in today, was you put it on top of something else, and it doesn't slide around like it would on a table.
Paperweight.
Yeah. Yes.
It's hard to drive a car with one-handed.
Yeah, well, it's not hard, but it's different. You gotta, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. I actually have my CDL license. I can drive a truck. I got my license to do that quite a few years ago. Yeah, it's different for sure. That's a good one. Yes, young lady? Getting your clothes on, right. I mean, you don't think about that. Just putting a sock on your foot and only use one hand. I know you're going to hear a lot of things today. Just try it. You know, next time you go to put socks and sneakers on when you're going to go play soccer or whatever you're doing, you know, try putting your sock on with just one hand. Putting a belt on if you wear a belt. You know, all those things. You're very good. Lots of questions. Yes. Yard work. Yeah. Shoveling snow, for an example. Using a rake. It's all very different. It's not impossible, because I've done it all, and so I'm sure
I use
Sue
my
has.
other foot.
Yeah,
Hold it and I
yeah.
use my other foot.
We use our feet for a lot of things that you wouldn't normally use it for. Yes? Swimming.
I can
Right.
swim, yeah.
Yeah, I can swim
And I don't
too.
swim in circles.
No.
The kids have asked that. Do you swim in circles? I can, but it's not.
No, you just do a lot of the side stroke, that's all.
That's it.
And
That's
diving off a diving board's interesting, because you hit and you go one way or the other. Yes? You forgot, because it was so long. Making food.
Making dinner.
Cooking. Now, what do you think would be hard about that? What particular aspect? Well,
Cutting
any
vegetables.
of that. But if you got stuff in a pan, you're stirring the stuff in the pan, what's holding the pan from? No, there's ways around it. We've been able to figure it out for the most part, but you're right, that is one that's difficult. A couple more and then we'll go on. Yes?
Open up a water bottle.
Well, yeah. I go to the dentist once a year, well, actually every 6 months, and the dental hygienist said, "Oh, you must grind your teeth in your sleep." I go, "No, I don't grind my teeth, but I use my teeth for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like that's one of them. You know, putting a shirt on, long sleeve shirt, taking it off. I use my teeth for a lot of things, and yeah, it does kind of grind them down a little bit." Yes, tying your shoe. That's a good one. Nobody thinks about that, but that's a very good one. One more. Yes, riding a bike. That's right. It's not impossible, but it's different, you know. I noticed when I was a kid, I used to ride a bike and I could ride no hands. Well, if I ride no hands now, I have to lean over because my weight is not the same. I have 12 to 15 more pounds on this side than that side, so you got to kind of lean to compensate for it. But these are all great answers. Anything you want to throw in there?
No, the only thing about a bike, when he was talking about a bike, I have a bike, but what I did with my brakes, my husband put a bar and it connects the two, so when I hit it this way, it does the back and the front brakes.
There you go.
Versus probably your bikes, you know, you go backwards and it stops it, but on a 10-speed bike, you need the braking.
Which is
So-
just one of those little
It's just
handy
little add-on things.
that there are a few things that we'll talk about in a few minutes, but one of the things that was mentioned was tying your shoe. I want you all to try it. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. If you don't have tie shoes on, and you yeah, but try it. If you don't have a tying,
that's it.
listen.
Try and put it on.
If you don't have tying shoes, borrow someone else's foot,
Yep.
or promise me that you'll try
Use your big
it
toe.
when you're at
I
home.
use my big toe to hold the sock.
All right. How many did it? How many were able to do it? 1, 2, oh, very good. How many gave up and said, oh, I can't do this? Yeah, well, it's easy to do, but what do you think would happen? Listen, shh. What do you think would happen if I gave up every time I tried to do something and it was too hard to do? What would happen? I'd be tripping over my shoelaces is what would happen, right? Right? Wouldn't that, well, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but that's not always the answer. The point I'm making is if I gave up on everything I tried to do and it was harder, I would never be able to function. And that's just one silly little thing. This little girl over here took her sock off and put her sock on. I want you all to try it. Not necessarily now, but tomorrow or whenever. Try doing both of those by, just one-handed, just for grins. It's just, I'll show you how I do it, if everybody can see. All right, you start that way. A lot of it's patience. And one little trick. That's how you get it. That's how you get it tight. And then the rest of it is just being patient. See? It's pretty easy. Now, thank you. You got to understand, I've done that probably 1,000,000 times now. But I couldn't do it initially when I tried to do it. I couldn't do it. I had to really work at it. And that's the whole purpose of my talking to you today is you understand if you put your mind to it, you can do it. You just have to put your mind. See, any Red Sox fans? Okay. See you know who this is? Why am I wearing this shirt? Why do you think? I'll tell you why, because he's the hardest working guy in baseball. He's the first one to the park every day. He's not the most gifted athlete out of all the baseball players, but he works the hardest. And that's why Sue and I have been so successful in our lives and to function normally is because we worked hard at it. It's not by accident. And the same goes for all of you. Whether you want to be, an executive or a stay-at-home mom or dad, whatever it is your goals are, whatever it is that you want to do with your life, be the best at it you can. Work hard at it and enjoy life at the same time. What we're going to do, I think, for a little bit, I'll show you a couple of things that I've been actually very lucky to be able to do. One of the things that we talked about is sports in general. Every sport would be harder one-handed than not, right? Except for soccer, maybe. Tennis? Yeah, but you see a lot of people. You see a lot of tennis players when they're hitting a backhand, they use two hands because it gives a lot more stability to the racket. Tennis is one. I don't know if you ever heard of racquetball. I played competitive racquetball for many years. Those are easier one-handed, but there are other sports, football, basketball, hockey, all of those would be more difficult one-handed, right? Well, the sport that I was the most fond of was softball. I played softball for years, baseball first, and then softball. And after I got in my accident, I played for another 12 years or so, one-handed. You think about that. Now, what would be hard about playing? Yeah.
While you have your glove on, how would you throw it?
Right. That's exactly right. How do I throw this? I just caught this ball, right? How do I throw it? What do you think?
Take off the glove, grab the ball, right?
Yeah. Do you think I can do that? You throw it to me, and I'll show you how I do it. Just like that. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not doing this to show off because that's not at all. But I wanted to play badly, and that was the only way that I could do it. Now, batting was another thing. You think about, this way. You were doing. That's how and I golf. I do. But once again, it's all because it's hard work, and that's why, I did this over and over and over again until I got so that I could do it well.
Practice.
And I practiced and I played. Hard work. Pedroia, hard work. That's what it takes to do anything in life. if you want to do something, you just put your mind to it and work hard at it, you can do it. One more time. See? No, it's that they're actually. Thank you. You don't need to do that. There were actually a couple of professional baseball players. Recently, a guy named Jim Abbott, who was a pitcher, only had one arm. He had his arm, what was left of his arm was much longer, so he could tuck the glove underneath it and hold it instead of throwing it on the ground like I do. Played professional baseball. That's unbelievably talented, but it wasn't without working real hard at it either. Another
What else do we got?
Oh, how about just something that everybody does every day? How about washing your hand? How do you wash your hand if you don't have another hand to wash it with? What do you think?
You grab a towel, you put it in, and then you rub your hand with a towel.
Yep, that would work. It'll be a little messy, but it would work. What do you think?
You could wash it on the table.
Yep, I do that too. Yes?
Use your chin.
With your chin. Well,
That's
like
how
a
I put
cat,
on hand
right?
lotion.
Like a cat, right?
Put on hand lotion that way.
Yeah.
Put it on and I put it on. I have a nice soft neck. Not my hand, my neck. You're right.
Yeah, those are all good answers. I don't have many aids, but this is one, because I do a lot of mechanical work. This was a huge savior. I mean, it doesn't look like it's a brush, right? But if you stick it on the inside of the sink, and I can wash up my hand this way. Just like I said, it's just one of those little aids that's a huge help to me, because I'm pretty active and I do a lot of things that I get dirty, and this absolutely is a savior. Sue has one also.
Yes,
You
I
wanna
have a
tell
few
them
things.
about the knife?
Yep, I have
Right.
my knife for cutting, which is difficult, like you were saying, eating. I have a special knife where I just kind of go this way to cut meat or steak, and it works out handy. So this way, my husband doesn't have to spend time cutting all my food like a little child and then eating his cold.
Right.
So I have a knife, and I do it that way.
Yep.
A few other things is I have.
Now this is
people-
something I can't show you.
Yeah. Oh, the girl stuff. The clip to put your hair. I put this one up every day, and I kind of do it this way. I should go this way with it, and then I just kind of clip this side, and then I kind of go this way with it, and then, of course, not without practice, but it gets done.
That's pretty.
And then I make sure all my bracelets, I have a lot of bracelets that have all just like elastic. And then I just kind of, I don't know if you can see, but I just use my big toe to grab it, to extend it. And then I go this way and then put it on. So because with the clip, it just makes it more difficult, then it's another thing my husband has to do. My necklace, I just leave it on. I just wear the same necklace for eons because it's easy. So the other girl thing that I have that he doesn't have to use an umbrella because he doesn't have any hair for
I don't
it.
have any hair to worry about, right?
Yeah. I have most umbrellas, when you hit the button, it opens up, which is very easy. But how do you close it when you have two hands?
Like you pull it down.
Exactly. So this one is, not that it's any special, but if you hit the button again, it actually closes, which is kind of nifty. So then I go like this and it's closed, so I can do it myself. Exactly. All those one-handed things that come in very handy. So that's all my girl things. How do I wrap it back up? Well, then it just has the Velcro. So I just kind of put it between my legs this way. And I just put the Velcro on it. So then it's back to normal and it just sits in my car.
See, we use our legs and our feet for a lot of
Yeah.
things just
Yeah.
because.
Very handy.
And we're really lucky to, and then, it's all, like I said, through practice and hard work, and it's just daily functions. That was one of the things that both of us, I knew as soon as I met Sue that she had the exact same attitude I had. We just want to be normal. We're never going to be normal. But what is normal, I have to do things differently. That doesn't make me any different up here. I still think the same. I'm a little more determined, probably got a little stubbornness on my side that has helped me through a lot of things. But no matter what, we're still the same people. You know, upstairs is everybody else in here, and we just have to do things a little differently. I've done many different jobs over the years. Out of all the jobs that I could have pursued in my life, I chose to be a carpenter. You know, you think, why would a one-armed guy want to be a carpenter? Because I enjoy it. I love what I do. I don't do it as much as I used to because I'm a maintenance guy now for 19 years. But I ran my own business for 10 years and built a few houses. I did a bunch of remodeling, most of it local, and I was very lucky to have that. What would be hard to do as a carpenter? What do you think? Cutting wood, yeah. Why would that be hard? Because you get a hold, you have to hold it, yeah. Well, put my knee on it, you know, use my feet. You know, I got so, I was able to do all of those things and do them well through a lot of practice too. What do you think? Hammering a nail. Why, that's easy. Ah, yeah, right. He just said it. How do you hold a nail and nail it in at the same time when you only have one hand? Doesn't sound like it would be easy. Well, let me show you. I call this my bag of tricks. I got all sorts of stuff in here for you. All right, so I have a piece of wood, and I have a nail, and I have a hammer. Now, how do I put this nail into that piece of wood? What do you think?
You get the nail, you just put it in and start banging it.
What holds it?
What holds it in?
What holds the nail until you hammer it?
What do you think?
You put the nail in and you put the hammer on top of it, and then you bang, and then you place it up and you have to bash down fast.
Okay. There's probably a couple of ways of doing it. Yes, one more.
So you like will stick it in,
Yeah.
push it down hard.
You want to come up and try? I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, believe me. Here's your nail. Ooh, you did it. Good for you. Well, you can hammer it if you'd like. Are you a lefty? Oh, okay. There you go. That's good. See, she did a good job. Now, did that hurt a little bit when you pushed it in? Did that hurt your hand a little bit? Well, it would, believe me, because I used to do that. When I had to nail something, stick it in like that, nail it. Well, you can already see the red mark there just from doing it once. Imagine if you had to nail 200 nails in a day, which a carpenter wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to have to put in 200 nails a day. That would hurt after a while, right? Well, I was lucky enough, years and years ago, somebody gave me this hammer that actually has a magnet in the top, and it holds the nail. There's a lot of these out now. I've noticed a lot of companies are making these, but back then they weren't around. Somebody gave me this hammer, and you put it in there, so you're not constantly banging it in or pushing it in with your hand. That made my job so much easier. Now, I mean, we have nail guns and things now, but there's never not the need to nail something in by hand. And that made my job so much easier to be able to do that. What we'll do is at the end of the class, I'm sure everybody wants to try it, so we'll do that at the end of the class, and you can all give it a whack. No pun intended. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and there's a story behind it, because Katie will tell you there's a story with everything with her father. But anybody know what this is called? What is this called? What's the real name for this?
I know what it is.
Anybody?
What it's called.
Yes? Yes?
It's like a arm that you can put it on.
Yep. Yes, do you know? A prosthetic arm. She got it right. This is a prosthetic arm. Now, a prosthesis could be a glass eye, false tooth, could be anything that's basically an artificial part of your body. This is a prosthetic arm. Now, the story I have with this is, I've had this for a long time. I tried to use it for probably 5 years. I wore this a lot. And I got to the point that it just wasn't helping me. I was just better off to do things one-handed. And I got pretty good at doing things one-handed. But there are people that this is a real big help for. And it's a wonder. Now this is kind of old school. I mean, now they're making arms and hands with a 3D printer, for Pete's sake, but this is definitely old school. But people still have these and still wear them. And you'll see somebody once in a while with one. This is all it is right there, right here. Now I'm gonna try, I only put this on like once a year, and it's all twisted up. I'll try to make this work for you. Yeah, already. Bear with me. Come on. Okay, now I have 2 arms. Told you. Isn't that something? How does it move? It goes like that. All it is it's just a cable that goes around the back. And if I pull on this, see how that goes up?
This
And
cable
then-
right here is what moves it.
Yeah.
This one here.
And then if I do this right, hear it click. Now that same motion opens and closes this. Go ahead, put your finger in there. It won't hurt you. It won't hurt. See? Isn't that something? You do it?
It doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt.
That feels good.
See? And then if I... There we go. It's not working like it's supposed to. There it goes. Now, isn't that something? Now, the reason I bring this is to show you, because if you ever see somebody with one of these, that's all it is. It's a hunk of plastic and a cable. But it didn't help me, but it's really helpful to some people. And it's okay. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah,
Like I
never
said,
had that.
what's that?
I never had that.
No.
No. It's just I didn't have enough to hold.
Well, either
to
do I.
hold it
That's why
either.
this has the fixed
Yeah.
shoulder, and it just really wasn't any kind of a
No.
help to me. But some people, it really is a huge help, and it's a wonderful thing for them. What do you think?
What else do we got?
I don't know. That's about it. Any questions? Because I like, there's always things that people want to know. Yep.
Did people ever make fun of you because you only had one?
Not maliciously, no. I have friends that I'm pretty good-natured about it, and they'll say stuff to me about it, and it's all in fun, and it doesn't bother me. I remember the first time first time on the field playing softball, I caught the ball. I was playing left field. Line drive hit out to me. I caught it, and I heard one of my buddies from the bench go, "Use 2 hands," just being funny, but it's okay because it doesn't bother me. I'm very comfortable with what I am. I've done extremely well, as Sue has also. I've done all sorts of sports and work and everything else. I'm pretty proud of what I've done, but I don't have. If somebody looked at me, "Oh, look at you, you only got 1 arm, you probably can't do anything." Well, that's another story. Which brings up another point. What if just say you're in the supermarket with mom and dad, and you're shopping, and you see somebody with 1 arm? What do? Do you go over and help them? Or do you kind of look at them like, "Oh, that guy's only got 1 arm," and shy away? What do you think you should do? Help them? What do you think?
We've had people.
Excuse me? Greet them? Sure. That's always nice to be friendly, no matter what. Help them? Anybody else? What do you think you should do? Help them? Do you think you should just go help them? Well, I will say it's nice to want to help, but always ask. Because I know, if I want help, I'll ask for it, but I'm pretty stubborn and I can do everything pretty well by myself. I think the right thing to do is, if you want to help that person, that's great. Ask first, because it's almost an insult to just jump in and try to do something for somebody. That's like telling them that you don't think they can do it. And we're pretty proud to have been able to accomplish what we've accomplished. So I think the right thing to do is ask first. Can I help you with that? You might get, yes, actually that would be great. And sometimes I do that. It's pretty rare, but sometimes I do. Most often I say, no thanks, I'm all set, I got it. But that's just keep that in your mind. It's nice to help, but ask first. Yes, sir.
Like with, for like asking someone for help, or like if you get hurt, like even if you like lose an arm, the ambulance doesn't have to take you. If you say I'm fine, they can't like take you. They can't like.
Yeah, that probably is true. They
They
can't.
can't just pick you up and like put you in.
Well, I'll tell you, thank God there was an ambulance around when I got in my accident, because I was hurt pretty bad. Yes?
Like the car like run over your arm when you
I was in a Jeep, actually, and we hit a telephone pole, and I got thrown, and my arm was cut off. I'm not even sure. Never really even figured it out. Could have been the windshield, could have been, I don't know. We never did figure it out, but like I say, it was the luckiest day of my life, because it could have been a whole lot worse. Yes?
How do you move that arm when you put that shoulder thing?
Well, there's a strap that goes all the way around, and I noticed when I pulled on that, it went up and down. That's so by expanding my chest muscles, it makes that go up and down. It was a good question, though. I'm sorry if I didn't make it clear. Any questions for Sue? Because Sue obviously, I mean, I can't show you how to put your hair up like she did, so she's got some different things that she has to do as
What
a
is it,
woman.
hon? How did I lose? I had cancer when I was in high school 38 years ago.
Yeah. It's funny
Cancer.
because
Yeah.
hers was 38 years ago. Mine will be 37 years this summer. So we're very much on the same amount of time.
Yes.
Yes? Yeah, yeah. You'd kind of do it this way instead of this way. But yes, that's a good question. Do you have a question? Okay, go ahead. Don't be shy.
Well, I was asleep because I was in the hospital, and the doctor had to take it off, but I was sleeping, so I didn't feel the pain until later. But I had a couple of years of chemotherapy, and it took me a while to get back on track, but I did it. I was 15, so I wasn't real young. So.
Were you bleeding when you got your arm cut off?
Not that I remember when I woke up from surgery. I just have to, I have to answer this question down here. I didn't realize when you were answering that one.
Okay.
Yes, hon? Ah, I forgot to
Yeah,
show you
earrings.
that. This one
That's a
here, I
good
made
one.
sure I have earrings that have all the little, just snaps, instead of the one that you need like with the back and the front. The only thing now I need a mirror to find the hole to put it back in. But then it just snaps in the back. I'm sure you've seen earrings like that. They just snap in the back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's very easy. Anybody else? It was 38 years ago. Kind of a long, seems like eons for you. It's a long time. It was in the 70s. Yes, hon?
How do you braid your hair if you want to?
Actually, I have two wonderful daughters that know how to do that, and they do an excellent job. But I don't really braid my hair too often because I usually have to get out of the house quickly, and I don't have time for that. So I just usually put it in just a clip like this. So,
What's your job?
excuse me?
What's your job?
Well, I work for an accountant, but I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time. So, but I do bookkeeping. So I work on the computer. I type with one hand. That was exciting. Yeah, I learned how to type on a typewriter.
Yeah, there comes.
Way back
there's
when.
another thing that nobody mentioned: keyboarding with one hand.
That's true, because I had first learned with two hands. I had two hands when I started high school, and then it was during my freshman year I had to go out, and then I came back after my surgery, and then I had to back to my typing class, and it was like, oh my God, how do I do this? But they actually my teacher had got a book to learn how to type with one hand. And I just have my hands in the middle of the keys and do it that way. I'm not as fast as my girlfriend was in high school on the side of me, but I could kind of hold my own.
Did you ever see somebody else in public with only one arm, and did you
I have seen, way back when, I remember seeing younger kids, and we've talked. And then when I met Craig, it was wonderful because as much as people say, gee, I know how it must be, but until we really see somebody and talk to somebody, it's like unspoken, because there are some things that you just learn how to do, and we just had the same attitude, and it was wonderful having somebody that's on the same
you can
wavelength.
imagine, but unless you in the same situation, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You know. A couple more questions, and then I want to set up a couple of lines because I'm sure everybody wants to try to put a nail in. Yes, sir.
How do you click shift and then on the typewriter? How do you click shift and then click the key that you wanted to?
I can use all my fingers. I'm very lucky. I have a big hand, so I can span across. Yeah, they're far away. One more. Yep. Well, I've done some fishing. I don't do a lot of it, but you know, a spin, is it a spin cast with the button? Casting's easy. Well, then I'd have to reel it in this way with my finger. Hold on. I get pretty. I mean, I can hold a gallon of milk and turn a doorknob because I have to. You know, nobody else would do that, but I can hold on to a gallon of milk like that and still turn the knob of a bag or anything like that. I've got
a lot of little things.
I'm pretty dexterous. We'll answer some more questions, but what we'll do is if we can form two lines, and you can try to put a nail in the wood one-handed, and anybody has any questions or any thoughts, please come up and ask us. So we'll do like half here and half here. I'll leave that out so you can look at it. And just try to do it one-handed, just to see what you think.
Oh, yeah. So injured that they had to take it off?
No, it was cut off. They actually put it back on. The accident was on a Tuesday. They actually put my arm back on, and the infection just took it over, and they couldn't kill all the bacteria that was in it, so they had to take it back off. So they put it on a Tuesday and took it back off on that Saturday. But it was the way it was. You know, it had to happen that way. Yes, sir.
How would you like put on one of the prosthetic arms if you had like half of your arm, like you still have one, could you just get a special one that just had this part?
It would be a lot. You're right. That's very observant of you, because what happened was I have such a small amount of that shoulder is fixed, so this is the only motion it has. If somebody has their forearm still, or even around the elbow, and just this is a prosthetic, it would be much more useful. That's good looking.
How do you get, if you want to listen to like an iPod or something, how do you put your earbuds in or something?
One at a time. Yeah, you get it. You know a little bit of what it's like. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of hard to write if you wrote with this hand?
Yeah, I was lucky. I was right-handed. Yeah, it would be. I'd have to learn all over again. You think you can do it? Maybe. We'll try to put the nail in without the hammer even sometimes. You know. Actually, that wood is cedar. It's very soft. If I brought a hardwood, you couldn't just push a nail into it no matter what.
Do you have any? I have a question.
Yes, dear.
Do you have any like more tools to use, like to do things?
Nothing special. No. The hammers really were the only thing. Everything else that I have is the same as what everybody else uses. I just have to use it a little differently sometimes. That's all. Good question, though.
And then I ski. I downhill ski, not anymore, but I did for many, many years. I did that. Oh yeah, it's just, the balance is definitely, so that's same thing riding a bike. You just gotta kind of be careful. Oh yeah. Yeah, we ride we have a house at the Cape, and we ride the canal a lot, so.
I realized very quickly that if I didn't do it for myself, nobody was gonna do it for me.